The reason people should care about what happened in 1918 is that it can happen again.
We think we've learned from the past.
Because who knows about that now? Any school child, you ask them about it, they what?
You just don't know until it's facing you.
I think we forget.
Over 12,000 people died in the city.
You know, any adult as well. Few people really know about it unless they know about it.
Because we fail to learn from history. No one on the face of the earth has seen this virus before. So now you're not talking about an epidemic, you're talking about a pandemic, which is to say a worldwide epidemic. That's what happened in 1918, 1919, when this virus swept across the world, killing 50 to 100 million people.
The height of the epidemic is right after the parades, which is September 28th, but I mean, a week after that, we began to ascend to the highest point of the epidemic.
After this flu sort of subsided, they had the armistice. They could either celebrate something or they could mourn, and they decided it was better to celebrate.
As a child, I don't remember anybody other than my mother, as I related, talking about the 1918 epidemic because of the loss of her sister.
They got seminarians to volunteer to go out and dig the grave and then succumb to the disease themselves. I thought, geez, they should honor all these people that did this, and it just seemed like it was totally forgotten. A lot of people didn't know about it.
Why has it disappeared from our memory? And the answer I give the most salience to as a historian, as a psychiatric nurse, it was just too terrifying to remember.
If we have a pandemic today, your entire life is going to be affected by it.
I think there will be another pandemic. I don't think we can predict what it is.
We'll have 3 pandemics a century. We had a pandemic in 2009. There's no reason to expect we won't continue to have pandemics. Historically, it's always been true.
I have no patience with people who deny the efficacy of vaccines. It's the single most important public health intervention in our era.
When I was a child, there were few vaccines, and child mortality throughout the world was much, much higher than it is today.
When my parents were children in the 20s and 30s, they saw diphtheria as a common killer of teenagers. They saw polio as a common crippler. For them, getting vaccines was an easy decision. I think in many ways, vaccines have been a victim of their own success. We've eliminated not only the disease, but at some level, the memory of the disease.
Unfortunately, people's memories are short, whether it's a disaster or any other phenomenon. I think especially if it's a disaster, they tend not to remember it.
The idea that something so random, something so unpredictable could just hit and kill entire communities, entire families, was so terrifying to our sense of control that it just receded from memory.